seconds. What is up, everybody? I'm Andrew Esquire, Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. And today I'm doing a rare. I haven't had another law tuber on in a very long time. So I'm very happy to be joined by my good friend, Sean Martin, potentially criminal, an amazing dude, an actual practicing attorney over there in the great state of Ohio. How are you today, Sean?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. And yeah, it's good to see you. It's been a while. It's been too long.
It's been a minute. I feel like it really is. It's nice to have like a little bit of the band back together. I know that it's been a while since, a lot of law tubers have done collaborations and stuff like that, but I still love doing it. And what I love really doing is that we can get on together and we can talk about stuff and we can even debate each other in a respectful way where we both really respect each other. And it's not because we hate each other or anything else. We can even strongly disagree with the other person's point, and we're cool at the end of the day, right? That's one of the things I love about LawTube.
Yes, no, I agree. There's so much, and it's the disagreement's not over stupid things. It's over things. You know what? It's valid. There's never usually any time where you're like, oh wow, they don't know what they're talking about, especially nowadays. So.
Especially nowadays. Okay, so guys, today, because we have Sean on, and out of respect for Sean, just real quick, I'll read some of the, like, for example, King Lugia, thanks for the 5 members. JP, thanks for the 5. I'm not gonna be doing the reactions because we'll be here all day for that, and I'll save the super chats for the end. I think if we read all our super chats from Sean and me at the end, we'll get it through. So, but we will, I'll get to answering your questions, and we'll get through that, guys. So even if you don't hear it read right away, know that I'm seeing it and it's coming up, so it's not missed, right? So, like, for example, Unhinged Valkyrie saying "because" for 10 pounds. I see you, bro. I see you. Senpai notices you. Okay. So, let's see here. So what we had today, I think what we're going to talk about, because both of us have been covering the Ethan Klein lawsuits. And obviously, if you've been paying attention to either one of us, you probably know the background, but they're for copyright infringement, suing against both Denims, Frogan, Kaceytron, and the Snark Reddit and Discord moderators. Essentially, all of Hassan's orbiters. I know that, people may not like that word, but that's what it is. Right.
Suffa.
But well, here's the thing. And let me ask you this, because people ask me this question all the time. Do you think that at some point it is possible that Hassan is roped into this, whether he likes it or not?
Yes, because I guarantee, and this is where I think you mentioned this. I said it from the start. This is a fishing expedition. This is a hunt for information. And yes, if he can make these people suffer and break their back with a copyright lawsuit, great. He's looking for data. He's looking for text messages, emails, phone calls, Twitter DMs, Discord DMs, Snapchats, whatever he can find. He is hunting for scalps for the people who came after him and his family. And I guarantee you the road eventually, Hassan's name's going to be in some of this stuff. Maybe
inevitably.
Yeah. And we know Frogan, Kaceytron, and well, I don't know about Kaceytron, but Denims and Frogan definitely probably have Hassan's DMs. So yeah, at some point he's probably getting deposed.
And at the very minimum, right? At the very minimum, he's deposed. Now, that doesn't mean, don't get people's hopes up. I'll balance this out, right?
Yeah.
Just because he's deposed doesn't mean Hassan is going to jail and he's locked up and he's going to Gitmo or something like that. That's extreme. That's too much, right?
Nobody's going to jail out of this, but there will be. Right. Ethan Klein is looking to ruinate people's lives as much as he can through the civil legal process.
Correct. And I think he's even said it, that he's out to win on them. And you can see it, like when you look at Ethan, you can see a level of determination in his eyes and his face. Like he has a plan and he knows what he's going to do and he is going to execute this plan. I do think that they really could have settled with him at the very beginning, or even some of them right now, if they came with a really amazing settlement offer and if they threw the other guys under the bus.
Well,
But
I think
I don't
Denims
think
already did settle. She's in the process of settling.
you think so.
Oh, the reason they stipulated to that discovery and let it out there, look, I'm going to help you. I'm not getting in the way. Whatever you want to do, let's get it done. I think that's part of her. So what can we do on this and how bad? You know, she wants to be the last one eaten by the alligator. So she's not walking away scot-free, but she's and you know, the even better thing, this, you know, like, oh, well, they can't access things. She's got messages with you guys. You know, she can give up her phone, and it doesn't matter what Reddit does.
Oh, suffer, Denims, suffer. Oh, it is disloyal, Denims. Listen, it is absolutely hilarious because you've seen this, you know, in many cases. I've seen this too, but I mean, you have more experience than I do, so I defer to your experience here. You've seen this in cases where social media platforms, Facebook, you know, Reddit, you know, Instagram, etc. You've seen cases where these platforms have turned over data, right? Correct? You've seen this.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing: this idea that Reddit's not going to turn it over.
There are people that believe this, Sean.
Well,
there are actual people that do not understand that these platforms give over your data. They do not believe this happens.
Yes, and I understand Reddit has said, "Well, look, we're not going to do that." Okay, they may not have done that before and in certain situations, but when you're dealing with a federal judge and there's a copyright lawsuit, and now you're a party to this copyright, you know, their attorneys are going to say, "Are we going to lose Section 230 protections if we start shielding these people?" I mean, what are we going to lose here? Like, this is not that simple. And once again, even if it is, this is, I guarantee you, Denims has, because if she talked to them on Reddit, she's talked to them on the phone, she's talked to them in emails. So even if for some reason they can't get stuff out of Reddit, I guarantee you she is turning over information as we speak. That's why that's that thumbnail I have is from Vertical Limit, where they cut the rope at the beginning of the thing. Oh, she's just cut. That's what that is. The knife on the rope. She's cutting them loose.
And you know, there's no, I said this in the beginning, and people like they I don't know if they took it seriously. There is no loyalty in a lawsuit. There is no, like, you know, we're all one big proletariat family, whatever it is, right? It is everyone for themselves, and they will literally toss each other in front of the firing squad. That is going to happen, right? Legally. Right. And in the mods themselves too, these mods were all friends before, I'm sure, but they're not going to be friends after this is over. And we're going to talk about that later. But, you know, first, I guess the two order of operation for today is we're going to start talking, I think, first about Kaceytron and Denims, who now apparently share a lawyer in this lawsuit. Which, once again, if you know anything about the law, a very basic concept in the law is conflicts of interest. If you have a lawsuit and there are two parties that, you know, once again, they could have both committed this crime or committed the crime in a different way, right? There'd be a conflict of interest. They could each have their own counsel. There are, however, situations in which you can waive conflicts, right, by providing informed consent. So it's a more complicated question than just, is this okay or not okay? So that's why it's a great one to talk about with Sean, because it actually is a complicated, it's not a straightforward answer.
Yes. And the bigger thing, chat, you need to understand, just because there's a conflict, sometimes you can waive them, but sometimes there's nothing you can do. And this is a situation where we're going to start off with going through two separate documents here. And the first one is in Denims' case. And this is the appearance of Benjamin Cassis. And this is Denims' attorney. That's so weird calling it Denims', but yes.
Denims'
attorney. Well, it's not as weird as having the name Denims. Anyways, Benjamin Cassis from Frost LLP and Wilshire Boulevard. Shout out to Coach Red Pill. We're always in our mind. Always in our mind.
R.I.P.
Yes, always in our mind. Always thinking of you, boo. Anyways, he's representing Denims. Okay, cool. Like, okay, that sounds great. This is him in the case there. All right, sounds great. All right, well, now we go to the Western District of Missouri, because Kaceytron lives in Missouri. Because, like me, she's poor white trash of flyover country. All right.
Don't speak about yourself that way, Sean. You're my white trash, okay?
Yes.
I love you.
Now, the way this works, Chad, if you don't understand, pro hoc vice is what you do to sign, because if you're not a member of that bar, you can't practice there. So
Correct.
I can't go to California and just start practicing. What I need
and I
is
can't go to Ohio, right? Yeah,
yes.
It's just, you can't do that. Yeah.
What I need is an attorney who's licensed in that state to basically vouch for me. And pro hoc vice basically means I'm vouching for this guy, and if he screws up, that's on me too. But
yes.
For example, Mindset could pro hoc vice mean into Florida.
And I could do it into Ohio, right? We could do vice versa.
I could vouch for him.
Yeah. And so if we wanted to do that, we could do that. And that's the importance. And this is why I always say, people always say, well, you're not this type of lawyer. I'm like, well, yeah, but I have friends that are, and I can call them up. And if I wanted to pro hoc vice, I could do that. I don't want to, because I'm not, that's not what I want to do,
yes.
But I could potentially, right? And that's the power of that.
Yes. Now from here, this is important because you have to at every federal court. You have to get admitted to each one of the 93 district courts. You need to be able to be admitted. So what did he do? Well, they got a hold of a guy named Stephen Hoblinger. He's an attorney in the Western District of Missouri. And he is, he's going to be here. And what is happening here? Well, Benjamin Cassis he's admitted to practice in the U.S. District Court, meaning somewhere he's federally admitted, but he's not admitted here. Who will be counsel for Casey Cavanis?
Which is Kaceytron.
Kaceytron. Okay, so you're like, Benjamin Cassis. I thought we just talked about that guy. So who is he? Yeah. So what is he? Well, Benjamin Cassis from Frost LLP on Wilshire Boulevard.
Oh wow, that sounds familiar. Where have we heard that before?
Yeah, I know. It's like we just went through this. We just went through this. So now he's representing two parties. This is a conflict of interest, in my opinion.
No. So this is a conflict.
Yeah.
The only question is, so in a conflict, so there is, so to establish the basics, right? It is a conflict because they are potentially adverse parties, and they may have information that is adverse to each other. For example, the disclosure of messages, of DMs, of phone calls that belong to Denims may be adverse to Kaceytron. And if Denims particularly is cutting the cord and is trying to get out, she is going to take actions that are adverse to Kaceytron, Frogan, to the mods, to everybody else. So, and we know disloyal Denims is already doing this, right? She's already doing this. So this is something that lawyers should just look at the filings and say, yeah, this is a conflict. Now, so I think we're both in agreement. It is a conflict, right?
Yes, 100% it is.
Now, here's the question. Is it waivable?
I don't think so. Because this is like representing a husband and wife in a divorce. They may be all nice to each other, but let's say in the moment the husband walks into your office and says, oh, by the way, hey, I got something to tell you. It's secret. He's like, oh, I am actually stooping to the neighbor. Well, okay. Well, now he's told me confidential information, but technically the wife's my client too. Now I have to have information that I can't share with my client. That's not how that works. So if these girls start talking about they have a goal, or more importantly, they just start going like this, they did it. That's it.
Sure.
Conflict of interest. Or if I'm Ethan Klein and I want to be a big fucking asshole, I make an offer to Denims, a settlement offer. And guess what? He can't go tell Kaceytron, because Kaceytron can say, well, tell me about it. I can't tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's so many ways this implodes.
So here's what. Okay, I agree with you on that last part. That last part is some tricky fuck lawyer shit. Sorry, I swore, but I guess YouTube is.
That's what I would do if I'm Ethan's attorney. If I'm Ethan's attorney, I will fuck him over with this.
This is getting clipped. This is getting clipped right now. 100%.
That's fine.
How Ethan can screw it over? Make a settlement offer to Denims. Denims, because do it to Denims. Here's why it's Denims. Because the narrative is already that she's disloyal Denims. So just play into the narrative, whether or not it's true. Denims might not be disloyal, right? In reality, she might just be being strategic. But if she does that, that narrative takes off. That narrative wins 100%. That Denims, ain't nothing but a settlement digger, right? And she's got no loyalty, right? So that would be the real move there. Because from what I looked at, and let me pull this up. This is on the California Lawyers Association. This is the two types of unwaivable conflicts. Because normally you can get informed consent, which means you can, you can't put it in writing. So you can say, we have potential conflicts here, here, and here. Sign here. If you sign, that's okay. And you can also limit the scope of your representation. You could say, okay, I'm only going to represent you for fighting the pretrial phase, and at trial, you're going to have to get your own counsel, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to, I don't know which one was hired first. There may be some precedent there or not, whatever, right? But
I was gonna say there's also the thing of like we learned in law school, the way they used to do this back in the day when they, they do what's called the Chinese wall, where the one attorney who knows the information. It's what they called it. That's what they called it.
I know. I've heard this so many times, but I was also in Miami when we had the Chinese drywall scandal, and I was clerking. I was clerking for a judge, and every time I hear that, I think of the Chinese drywall that like was totally toxic and didn't work, which is a perfect metaphor for this, which is because it never works. This strategy never works. They share paralegals, they share people. That is totly fake.
So guys, the way this whole issue would work is typically if there's a conflict of interest, and I'll use Andrew here as an example. So let's say he was repping, an amusement entertainment proviber in Florida. Okay.
Yes.
Like we'll just use like Universal Studios as an example.
Yes. Theoretically, not that that's ever happened.
Yeah. No, I'm just using him as an example. It's clear examples here. it just helps because people know lore.
Yeah, lore.
And let's say he worked for a law firm that represented them, okay? And then he left, and he worked for another law firm. That law firm represents Disney on everything. So Andrew's working there. And then, is that a conflict for the entire law firm? Well, no, what they would do is they basically would say, Andrew's not allowed to know anything about the Disney stuff. He handles he's going to handle the Sibian manufacturer that we represent. Yeah. And, they're having defects where they catch fire. He's handling that litigation. He's handling the asbestos litigation. He's not touching anything related to Disney because he knows stuff that it's an adverse prior client. Now, there are times where you can do that, but that never works out. Yeah, because you guys all work in the same firm. You're in the same offices. You talk all the time. You have the paralegals. You go out and drink, and you go to the strip clubs together. It never works that way.
Never ever works that way.
Yeah.
So that's why they really have to have separate firms, and really that's the best practice, right? Instead of having one guy. So these are cases in which even if you have informed consent, it's not enough. So the first one is the second one's easy. Let's start with the second one: inability of the client. So I don't think we're arguing that either one is I mean, we make jokes about intelligence, but I don't think any of us is realistically making the argument that they don't have the capacity to give informed consent. However,
I don't think they do.
This is the one that I think you intimated at, and this is unwaivable. A disclosure precluded by confidentiality duty owed to another, right? So this kind of unwaivable conflict goes to the very foundation underlying an effective conflict consent, that a client who has received adequate disclosure concerning the conflict at issue can make an informed decision whether to permit the conflicted representation to go forward. So saying that there is a conflict that they can't even put in the disclosure, because putting it in the disclosure would be adverse to their client. And that, I think, is a settlement offer.
And well, yes, but even though just saying putting in the disclosure, technically the way it works, you guys, if you're representing a party as an attorney, you don't get to go around to say, oh, by the way, I'm representing a person. That's part of confidentiality. Now, if you get asked about it, you might be able to discuss it, or if you have to put it in a filing, that's one thing. But even telling, I mean, Denims and Kaceytron are talking. They're talking, so it's not an issue. But let's say they didn't know each other, but they had the exact same issue. Is Denims going to say, why the hell are you telling somebody that I'm your client? Who the hell do you think you are to do that? That can be a confidentiality issue. The same way, like that's why there's stuff I've been involved in where people ask, like, are you doing this, doing that? I can't comment on that. Don't comment on. I can't answer that.
Right.
That's you can't just discuss that at times, and you shouldn't be discussing that. So that's in this situation. No, the identity is not an issue. But yeah, once again, everything that gets discussed with Denims is now.
Identity isn't an issue with hold on, but the identity isn't an issue with Kaceytron and Denims but it is with the mods, and we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah,
right?
well, there's an identity thing there, but
yes,
this idea though that when you in the disclosure saying, hey, there's a conflict of interest here, disclosing the identity of this other party is a potential confidentiality issue at times. Like it's really hard to do because you have to discuss with this, they would have to discuss with Denims all the stuff about Kaceytron enough to explain why there's a conflict of interest without breaching confidentiality of Kaceytron. Now, obviously they know what's going on, but the bar doesn't care. The bar doesn't care that they know each other.
This is the point. The bar doesn't give a damn. The bar has this is this is a rule, right? This is a
it's a straight rule. It doesn't matter that they're friends.
This is what I always laugh about people, especially when they talk about lawyers or try to badmouth lawyers. It's like the bar has standards that are above and beyond what is criminal, right? You can be punished, but a lot of people don't understand the bar can punish you for a lot of bad behavior. Right? Just bad behavior. It's not necessarily criminal. It won't necessarily send this guy to jail, or he's not going to go to jail for but he can be punished by the bar, right? We are self-regulating in terms of our industry has a self-regulating function, right? So I think this guy, once again, I'll pull him up right here. This is the dude from Frost Law Firm, Ben Cassis over here. I don't think he's incompetent. In fact, he seems like a cool guy. Like, I don't think he's a bad person. I just think maybe the parties haven't really talked to him about everything, or maybe they haven't had the right conversations, or he hasn't thought about it that deeply. He looks very competent. But
I'm sure he's a very smart attorney, knows what he's doing, but it's just this is not this is one of the things this is a very big, very common issue. Like this is a very common one, and it's because you forget, and the way you're taught in your ethics class is first question you always ask when you have an ethics issue: who is your client? And you start from that premise. Now, your client may not be an issue at that point, but you always ask it. That way you can start appropriately. Who's your client? Because then that worries about what are all your duties, what are your obligations. Well, is this person your client? No, then fuck them. You don't have those duties and obligations.
Correct. Exactly. If they're not your client, you don't have the obligations to them. It's straight up. It's straightforward. Okay. Let me pull up this one. So this is I got this off of X earlier today. Ethan reveals the H3 Snark Vans banded together and hired the same law firm to fight against the subpoena request. So I'll play this 2-minute clip. Let me get this presentation and make sure the sound is on. Okay, there we go. Cool.
Surprised by this. We heard from the legal counsel of a new app, someone who we haven't heard from before. The H3 Snark mods have banded together and hired a boutique law firm located in San Francisco, which makes me raise my eyebrow.
What makes it boutique?
It just means like a small specialized. Okay. They seem like professionals.
Okay,
they usually are.
Yes,
a boutique law firm in San Francisco to represent all of them. And the reason they've hired this lawyer is to challenge our subpoena request.
They don't want names.
They're scared.
I think he meant quash, right? Because he sometimes just slips up. I think he meant quash, but I'll give him that one because squash is also
enough.
like just it's good enough. It's close enough. It's close enough, Ethan. I gave him shit over saying amendable instead of amenable, but it's all right.
They're scared. Whatever's in there must be bad.
I respect H3 Snark, and I believe that they're being silent.
Shut up, Adam. But the truth is, all we actually are asking for and need is their names so that we can serve them, right? So they're going to have to do this motion to squash, which is very interesting. It's going to essentially, they're going to have to argue on behalf of the three defendants that what they did was not infringement to therefore make themselves ineligible to be subpoenaed. So they have to, it's going to be basically a motion to dismiss in the form of a squash because they have to argue that argument on behalf of them. So it's going to be this is going to happen sooner than all the other stuff. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out, because I think it's going to establish where this whole thing is going. Because if the judge says no to that, it's this.
That's literally. I'm gonna pause this. Every time he's saying it, I'm literally thinking about fucking squash. Yeah, exactly. Like it's because it's quash. It's quash. It's quash. But
yes,
squash that. Yes. Yeah, Chad is right. Hold on, where's Chat? Squash that cough, bro. I got one too. I can't. Hey, I got one too.
I believe it's the same judge that's on Denim's case.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same judge. It's all in that case.
Then that is not looking good for Denim. If the judge grants it, then it's like they don't think we have a case, right? If the judge denies it, it means they're all fucked.
They're
frankly.
fucked, yeah.
And so
that's where we're going with that. Squash aside, what are your thoughts on that, Sean?
Well, they're better off arguing the contributory copyright infringement isn't there, because making the litigation for the three girls, that's not really going to get them anywhere, I don't think. But they're better off trying to argue, they didn't contributory copyright infringe. But I don't see how you're going to get anywhere, because there hasn't been any discovery yet. We're literally at the pleading stage, and the parties that are actually the main parties in this are not saying that they're ready for summary judgment yet. So I don't see how they're going to get anywhere with this. And remember, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because all the girls give up your phones. We subpoenaing all your shit off your phone. I want access to your Reddit account. I mean, so they can fight and moan. Remember, there's multiple ways they're going to get this information. Number one, and then number two, I'm sure Ethan's got his attorney. They're going to do their sneaky stuff. Like you are not invisible on the internet, guys. You are not. And that's why, like, people are like, am I worried about, like when I'm on Twitter, people talk shit. I'm like, you could find me in 30 seconds if you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
But I make it that, like, there is protection in being known.
Yes, there is protection being known. There's protection being unknown. And once again, people say, oh, it's try to, you try to be invisible. It's like, no, just, put a little like a speed bump, right? It's not even a stop. It's not stopping anybody, right? It's like, do you care to actually go find out, right? And if people care to find out, they'll find out, and that's just the reality of the internet, right? But yes, the reality is it's also quash, reject, or void, especially legal procedures. So just so you know, guys, we're educational and entertaining, guys.
I'm sure Ethan and will bring up, do you have the standing to have to do this?
Well, that's a good another question. Issue. I think they do. I would be on the side of they do, because they're parties to the lawsuit. So how would the mods not?
How do you know? How do we know you're a party to the lawsuit? I mean, that's right. Like, look, you're gonna have to tell us who you are.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to fight. You're not going to be able to.
Fair enough.
I don't know if they're not going to be able to proceed under a pseudonym at some point, because
they will have to.
It's unlike
Pixie. Stipulate that. Yes.
Yeah. It's unlike Pixie. We know who Pixie is. Like Destiny knows. Like, now maybe I am retarded and I'm wrong, but that's the argument I'm doing. Well, I'm sure Ethan's.
Could this be a double bind for that? I mean, this could be like an Ethan, like 4D chess move here. Is like them going together into this law firm, they're gonna have to stipulate that this is indeed them.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so.
I mean, because if they're going to claim we didn't engage in contributory copyright infringement, and we didn't do this, we didn't do that, it's like, well, we need to do discovery to find that out. We now have to depose you,
right?
So now you got to tell me who you are,
right?
I mean, I mean, this idea that they're going to jump in like this, like they were sitting there laughing that the judge was never going to grant this. Why wouldn't the judge grant the motion for a subpoena if both sides agree they have no reason to get involved? If the plaintiff and the defendant agree to something, the judge is never going to get in the way of that. Why?
Yeah.
His life is easier. What do I got to do? Hold on. What? Sign this? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Completely.
All right, I'm going to golfing. Like they don't.
And at the end of the day, the thing is, they're wasting their money. I don't see any way in which they're able to successfully challenge it and not ultimately and lead to subpoenas that would ultimately end up with disclosure. Like, I don't see this as a winning move. And by the way, that representation, let's talk about the scope of that representation. I don't think it can go past the subpoena fighting, because I think after the subpoena, they each have to get their own attorneys. Because as we talked about with Kaceytron and Denims, they are adverse to each other. They are really adverse to each other. I think the mods are probably more adverse to each other than Kaceytron and Denims, because they are being sued as a collective, and we don't know how to portion out the liability. So for the mods, see, for Kaceytron and Denims, they each have their own stream. So you can argue that their scope of liability is limited to what's on their own stream. And those are going to be two separate cases, because as much as we like to compare them and contrast them, they are separate people, and the details may matter to a judge. A judge could look at, theoretically, could look at Kaceytron's case and say, well, you did a bad thing, but Denims, I like you, girl. I subbed to your OnlyFans. You're good. I'm gonna let you off. Right? It's theoretically possible that happens. With the mods, if they look at the thread as a whole and they say, yeah, the thread is culpable, then they've got to portion that out. And I think that's where there's just you cannot avoid that.
And remember, it's not only just the thread, but what their actions. I mean, basically the way contributory copyright infringement works too, in a way, this being alleged as a conspiracy almost. So it's not only just what they did right there, but who were they talking to? How did they facilitate it? Once again, who were they talking to? Frogan? Were they talking to Denims? Were they, and that Roman P guy or whoever they are? I mentioned this. The way they keep talking on their, the way they were talking shit on Reddit, they make it sound like they have access to people in charge. It's like, well, who are you? You're very important.
And that's going to be very interesting, because I think this could end up really weakening Reddit by the people that think they have access, and kind of exposing the fact that Reddit has been run by a very small group of people that have access to the people at the top and have been the only people talking to them, and have been controlling the tone of Reddit, the overall direction of Reddit, the climate of Reddit, which we all know, right? Just like Twitch, right? There's certain people that exert extraordinary influence on Twitch, right? Same goes for Reddit. Same goes for a lot of other platforms, right? So, yeah.
And somebody in chat was asking, is this for all the cases? Well, yes, the same information will apply to all the cases. So they don't need to get a subpoena for each case. They've got one that evidence will be admissible in all of them. So,
yeah, so they're going to be able to get that. And once again, I don't see any situation in which, especially the internal Reddit messages, I can see how, look, there's going to be some, there may be some confidential or protected or privileged messages on their phones or other things that are not directly attached to Reddit or Discord, but within those platforms, certainly those messages are going to get turned over, right? The internal Discord and Reddit messages are 100% getting turned over.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're talking to like their lawyer, it's going to be, it's going to be, it's not going to be privileged. They're not going to have any, especially if it's a group chat or a group message. I don't know if you can do that on Reddit. Then there really is no confidentiality, because they're all talking amongst themselves.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I got distracted. I got distracted by Tecton. I'm sorry. I got to show this on live. This is too hilarious. Like, I was like looking on X for other content and searching for good stuff. And all of a sudden, pound per pound, sexiest lawyer in content creation. My response: I'm filing a restraining order. Right? It's done. It's absolutely done. It's over. Sorry, Tectone. We're done here. We're done here. This is getting creepy, bro.
Yes.
But listen. So in terms of the next stages, because he talked about procedure, right? This motion to quash, Ethan, quash. I love you.
Yes.
Quash. Okay. That is next. He is correct about that. So procedurally, that would be the next thing to come up before even an MTD.
Well,
because this isn't, because they filed. So procedurally, remember, this is expedited subpoenas that they consented to before the next mandatory conference.
But this was
procedurally would jump it.
Well, I mean,
federal rules of civil procedure, federal rules.
Yeah, right. No, I know. I'm thinking Rule 26 here. I wonder if the judge would say, sorry, but you guys sat, or you intentionally didn't want, you wanted to not be involved. You could have gotten an attorney. Like, I wonder how the judge would handle that. I think, would he have to say, we'll put a halt to it? Because here's the thing. that doesn't do anything except delay it because they're still going to get it. And because if they jump in, they're going to have to. I mean, they're going to be stuck in a spot because they're fighting as John Does.
Did you mean? Oh, by the way, did you mean Rule 34 instead of Rule 24?
Well, no, 26 for the discovery because it's.
Oh, sorry.
You know, to be under discovery there.
Okay, yes, right.
I actually, I'll be honest. I actually don't know how that would all work out, but
Yeah,
if I was,
that's why.
If I was the judge, I'm like, it's already been served. I mean, if it's a subpoena that's already been served, you can't. You know, it's like it's like a tee shot, man. It's gone.
And this is why, by the way, guys, this is why you see me and him like thinking about this. And this is like a lot of the law is procedure, and a lot of how cases are won or lost or screwed up is on procedure, right? So this is why you need to make sure your lawyers really know what they're doing. They're really super specialized, right? Like I would not be comfortable covering this in like case in terms of procedure, right? Because this is just not my specialty area, right? So you have to make sure that procedurally you don't mess up. And this is very interesting because it's a different case and because they're doing things that are different from the normal procedure. It makes it very interesting from a legal nerd standpoint of procedure.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. The attorneys involved in this, I don't know if they explicitly have dealt with this, but I won't be surprised if they're cracking open like Wright and Miller, which is considered the Bible for civil procedure. It's like a set of books, like $10,000.
Right.
They're going to be looking because this is going to be. This is not normal. This is not normal. So.
Yeah, this is not normal at all. Okay, I guess we should get some super chats now. How about that?
Sure.
How about that? We got a lot here. Okay, Hoopty says for 91. Happy birthday, Esquire. May there be more to come. Actually, so it's not my birthday, but it's going to be Sean's birthday. Right now, we are both the same age.
Yes.
We're both the same age for a very short period of time. For a couple of days. But happy birthday to Sean, too, guys. Please give him some love. Make sure you go over to his channel, Potentially Criminal, and you subscribe. He is a great guy, good friend of mine. You know, once again, the great thing about LawTube is we don't always agree on everything. We don't have to like share all the same views, etc. But we can come together and talk about stuff. And he does a lot of cool stuff. In fact, you did have a question here that was asked to you. This is a really good one. Hold on, where is this?
Oh, geez, I don't know if I want to answer it now.
This is very specific. It's very specific. Let's see. Here we go. Jarrett for 499 says, "Cheers, you guys. Best lawyers in the space." By the way, Sean, will you ever paint a Warhammer 40K tank on stream?
Yeah, I will at some point. I've got a whole pile of shit now because of my birthday. Like I've got a bunch of stuff to work through. But yeah, at some point I'll be doing Warhammer because I got. You haven't done any
Warhammer, have you? Have you done any Warhammer?
When I was a kid, a little bit, and then I played the computer games, but I never actually did the tabletop game. So
neither did I. I've only read the books and done the games online.
The neat thing about the Warhammer stuff is the 40K thing. I know a guy who's got a resin printer, and he's like, whatever you need printed, man, I'll just send it to you. I'm like, that'll be great.
That's like
at some point here, I will be.
Somewhere Games Workshop is like filing a cease and desist.
I know they could suffer. They can suffer.
Well, that's their grit. I mean, that's probably going to be a whole. Maybe I'll bring you on if I ever do a like Games Workshop, like shutting down IP stuff because they're the absolute fucking worst.
Well, yeah.
Unnamed Valkyrie, thanks for the 10. Alex Jones for 499. Suffer. Let's see.
Suffer globalist.
Natasha for 5 says, "Hi, dear leader." Oh no, it's the sandwich farmer Sean. Show us Clyde, my favorite law too.
Clyde's sleeping. He's with 2.0 right now.
It's late right now, guys. Yeah, let's give Clyde Clyde is actually sending a message. He may not be asleep. Great to see my pet lawyer.
Thank you, Clyde.
Dehako says, "Happy belated birthday, Andrew. Thank you for all the legal education for the masses. Thank you. I give the people what they want as their dear leader. They only have to give me their blind obedience and never question me. That's all." Repton says, "So doubly legal minded. Thank you. Sea Lion Prime says, "Did you guys comment already on Bada Panada, aka Douchebag Supreme, fleeing Argentina to Uruguay?" So I don't know or care about this dude, but you probably know more than I do, Sean. So I mean,
wait, what's he doing?
He fled Argentina to Uruguay, or I thought
Argentina to Uruguay.
I don't even know.
I don't know. Uruguay did. Uruguay had a unique solution for the communists as well. So
I don't think it's going to help him. Although I do know Uruguay, I don't think does extradition. So I think that's what he was thinking. He looked at a map and
what's he got problems with in Argentina for?
He's being sued. I think there's a lawsuit there. or
Well,
something else, or
yeah,
criminal. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, if it's criminal, I mean, I'd be careful about like South. If you're in South, like if you're on a continent and you're worried about extradition, get off that continent is like the easiest first answer.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure Uruguay and Argentina, they're not like they're broskies. I mean, like,
right,
that's like if you're in Argentina, you run to Chile, like you're like
right
next
and,
door still.
and particularly if there are individuals in Argentina that are going to be mad at you, they can just come across the border, or they've got an uncle in Montevideo, and like I would follow the Sean and be
a
off
bunch
the
of German
continent.
guys have found out that it's not that safe in South America.
I don't know what you're talking about. Guy says we need to get your seed into Pippa or Kirsha to preserve your bloodline. What? You guys are degenerate, you VTuber fans. Music, although you've done a lot of collaborations with Kirsha, right?
Well, we did a couple, because she was all about Brian Koberger, and then I had to text her. I'm like, I've got really bad news. Brian Koberger pled out. She's like, no. She got sad.
Dude, Sean, everybody who like went full send on that, I feel so bad for them. They were so geared up to make that the next trial. That was gonna be like the Depp versus her trial of the century. And it just flopped for those people. I feel so bad, like Andrea and everybody else who they spent so much time on it.
Especially because Andrea lives right there too.
She would have been that was her her moment, her Rittenhouse moment, right? Yeah, would have been that.
Yeah, that was just like it was such a bummer.
Letty for 1999 says Kim Jong accent, 49% Rigo Rick sucker fan, 51% sandwich Rini Rayer. Can you ask who Sean prays to go away?
I mean, well, we pray the gray away on my channel. Yeah. When you get the memberships and you get all the names green, we pray the gray away.
I just got my hair color for the first time. I was convinced by a certain someone to go do it.
I can't do it. It's too late now.
It's full set. No. Just own it at a certain point. Just own it. Music and Fiction says quash humanity, return to squash. Thank you. Fat Hacker for 2 says degenerate R34.
Well, there really is a rule 34 in the rule.
Yeah, guys, like I'm not making up what is rule 34 legally speaking. Rule 34 relates to discovery, right? Yeah. Production of discovery. So I can just pull this up like the basic one. This is let's see here, guys. We're not making these things up, and we're not intentionally trying to be degenerate. Also, so here it is. It's from the LLI, whatever. With our producing documents, electronically stored information, and tangible things for inspection or other purposes. So a party may serve upon another party a request within the Rule 26 to produce, documents, and then it gives you a list of the documents, blah blah blah. So it is a discovery thing. Once again, guys, this is why civil procedure is a class. And this is why it is something that the best trial attorneys are amazing at procedure. So, especially in civil court. So
it is. And it's, when it gets to criminal stuff, the rules are a lot more straightforward. In civil, and the problem is in criminal law, if the rules get, especially on the defense side, and you kind of bend the rules or things don't work out, there's always like, okay, we'll let you slide on that. In civil court, if you don't do it right, sorry, counsel, you better call your malpractice provider.
Yep. Let's see here. Red Knight says, happy birthday to both of you. Love the content, Andrew. Keep working on shutting down the nuisance stream scum. I will, although I will say I'm going to focus on only the big legal updates. We may have this little teaser. I'm hearing rumors about Vitaly having a settlement, but I'm really not going to cover it until I see an official statement that it's settled. I'm not going to speculate. So I think in the past, I might have done a little bit of speculation, and I want to be very careful about only giving official updates. Once again, I want to make sure I'm objective and I'm giving you guys the right information. And sometimes there are sources throughout the course of my coverage that have told me things, and I have not reported on them because they are not accurate, right? So that's just out there. I'm also going to try to be a little bit more objective about stuff because I try to be fair. I don't want to, let people think that Vitaly, and I never did, let people think that Vitaly was going to be in the Philippines for 100 years. But there was a point at which we thought he might be there for 5 or 2 or something like that. Yeah. And he has been there for, I think, almost a year now. I have to go back and check the clock. He's been there a little
couple of months.
It'd be a couple of months at least. He might get to a year. Maybe, he's there for a year. Okay. I think that's fine. I think he, at least it shows that, hey, there was a consequence to the action. And I do hope he's reformed, and I hope he learns. And I hope
the last round of pictures of him. Ooh.
Yeah, but I hope he grew from it. I don't wish ill
Yeah.
on Vitaly. I don't hate Vitaly. I just the thing with nuisance streamers, all of them,
Mhm.
you know, even Somali, you know, is they need to learn that there are certain boundaries, and you should not be crossing those boundaries.
Yeah, well, the way Vitaly looked, all like, you know, the way he looked like he shed all his weight because he's not juicing up. It looks like he looks like a guy who's been partially broken. Like, I think he realized, like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Good. Well, not in a good way, but bad and good, right? You need to have a moment in which you learn a lesson. You have introspection, and you say, "Hey, look, I shouldn't be doing this." Right? Like Shawshank is a great movie because it's like, you know, there is redemption. You can have, you know, a start again, and if he really is gotten to that point, I wish him a better life, and you know, I hope he goes out there and creates positive content for people and becomes a good example. You know. Lone Star Medic says, I know who one of the mods is. Okay, whether or not that's true, you know.
Samantha Heidelberg. Did you get that?
No, I don't. Sorry, is that a joke I didn't get? I didn't get that joke.
It was Sam Hyde joke.
Oh, he
just like every
away with it.
Just like every active shooter, Sam Hyde.
Yeah, the ghost of Kiev, right? The ghost of Kiev.
Yes, that too.
Shepherd's Gaming Run says HPD potentially legally criminal minds. That's actually a good.
Yes.
Potentially legally. Okay.
Potentially legally, it still sounds criminal.
For the cough drop fund. Thank you for the 298 Singapore. Torgo the White says, show the bathroom barrister, the Klein game. He's sleeping.
No, there's a game. One of my mods put together a game because Nick like talked about being a fat man eating sandwiches.
Yes.
So
Danielle showed me that. That was really cute.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So
is it real? It is a playable game?
Yeah, I'll play it right now.
Okay, this is pretty cool. Also, Felzu says happy birthday, Sean.
Oh, well, thank you, Felzu. Yeah,
okay,
it's my dog, and he's got little.
There's a
killdozer in the background, and Nick is
so
worried
cute.
about me eating sandwiches, so my dog makes me sandwiches.
This is adorable. This is the type of thing, when somebody hates on you, you should just go back and make it something like you own like this. And it's absolutely great. This is fantastic. This is fantastic.
Well, this was done by one of my this is done by Maddie B, one of the guys in my chat put this together. And
so skilled.
Yeah. No, it's really cool.
Is the order of the sandwich? No, it doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. No. And there's a whole it's got a whole soundtrack, and like he shows up in different outfits. So like he'll be an astronaut or all kinds of stuff.
This is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It's easier on a cell phone because the screen's a lot smaller, so you don't have to go as far.
Yeah,
and then like if you go long enough, you'll start seeing. Oh, come on, where's that? There you go. There's a Baldo. You got to catch a Baldo.
Oh wait, well, where's the Baldo? I missed the Baldo.
Hold on, I'll show you again when it drops.
You're late and gay in how many seconds? What?
It slows you down. It's a countdown timer if you catch the Baldos.
Okay, so, I like it.
Hold on here. There's another Baldo.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh man.
On all the goo.
Oh no. Is that what I think it is?
Yes, it is.
Oh no. Okay, this is too hot for TV. We gotta
sandwich for Aaron. But thank Maddie for that. It was great.
Okay, guys, there's so much like lore in that LawTube lore in that one game that if you guys need to brush up on that, you're gonna need to do some research. But that said, this is the awesome thing about audiences. They can do really cool things.
Yes.
Ret Knight says objectivity is a key to any legal proceeding. I think that you're the most objective, truthful, and accurate YouTube legalist I've seen. Keep it up. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We really try to be. We have our own opinions, and sometimes we're not infallible, right? Like I've been wrong about stuff. Sean's been wrong about stuff, but we give our best attempt to give you what we think is honest and what from our perspective, is going to happen in these cases. And I think that we tend to be closer than further away. We tend to be more accurate than not, right? And also, if you get us in a chat together, and also the other lawyers, like if we pulled in Kurt or Nate in here, we'd probably more agree than disagree. I'm sure there'd be some minor disagreement on this, but yeah. Oh, this is a good one. T-Rex says, "Is this the fat guy Ricada yelled at?" Lol, JK, y'all are both awesome.
Yes. Yeah, that's if you'd have told me that's how Mr. Medicare would know who I am as, I wouldn't have believed you that Jim Medicare would know who I am.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what he said. I think it was the casino was talking to him. He's like, "Is that the fat guy Nick yelled at?"
Sean gets super chats too, and and he's fat. There you go.
Thanks.
These are because some of these are coming from Sean's
Yeah.
channel, some of them from my channel. I'm just reading them all. Happy 41st birthday, Sean.
40th, not 41st.
The Chud Bucket said, "Hello, comrades." Hello, Chud Bucket. Good luck on your channel.
Tovarzysz.
Good luck on your channel. I know you DM me about it, so good luck just with YouTube. You know, the one
Good
thing I
luck,
tell a lot of aspiring YouTubers: don't give up, keep going, and always improve. Okay?
Yeah.
Pete C says for 5, Rule 34 of the internet is also about discovery.
Yeah, very much so. When you think about it.
I hate you guys. Showro says, got a question. Could insanity plea actually be applied? No, it's a legit legal question. If you think it's a joke, legal mindset, Q Kazuna AI. Wait, no, you're trying to trap me into queuing clips. This is your trap card. This is your trap card. And I will not indulge you with the anime girls responding to your bullshit.
No. Wait.
I'll give you a different clip. Not one. You thought you were smart. Enigma Crunch says, why can the Reddit mods proceed as John does? Shouldn't they reveal their identities to prove they are the owners? That's what we're kind of saying.
At some point they will, but it's kind of like the whole Pixie Destiny thing. She is a Jane Doe for now. But also, more importantly, like that one's a little different because Destiny knows who she is. And he probably knows, he talks to her, knows her real name and all that. This one's going to be different.
In Destiny's case, and with Pixie, like they both can understand why she wants to be private and they both are willing to respect that privacy. In Ethan's case, at the core of this is unveiling and unmasking the Reddit mods and the Discord mods. That is central to the lawsuit because they are operating in anonymity and thinking they can get away with whatever they want in anonymity. And as we all well know, and I think many people are going to realize that internet anonymity is not really as much of a thing as they think it is, right?
Yes.
So like just be understanding that eventually everyone's information will get revealed. A Mercenary 21 says, happy birthday. Be ready for USA court stuff. Yeah. Shimazu says, Rule 34 discovery, bending the rules, other stuff. Kathy Swan says, it's not gray hair. They're wisdom highlights. I'm very wise. By the way, happy birthday, Sean. And Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jaden says, Klein is trying to serve empanada, but he keeps moving. Oh, really? Oh, it's a civil lawsuit. So he's trying to serve empanada, but empanada keeps moving. Well, I mean, eventually he's going to get hit, right? So he's going to get a judgment in some jurisdiction, and at some point he's going to run out of countries he can move to, right? There is a point at which you've been served in enough countries that as soon as you enter that country in transit, you're going to be like pulled over and given this, right? Like it's not, running around the world is not a infinite solution to their problem.
Yeah, I mean, it does in the countries where you won't have treaties or accords or international agreements in place where you can enforce judgments against him. It's very much like extradition. If you don't want to get extradited, you're gonna have to go to a country, and the countries that you can't get extradited from are really, really bad freaking places to live. And the places you could avoid service are not going to be places you're going to want to hang out in.
Because so the thing is about that is like some countries do not respect foreign judgments. That's true. However, you can go and get a judgment in a local court. So you can go into that local court and get a judgment there, and that judgment will be enforceable within that country, right? So that's the issue you're going to face. And Ethan Klein has enough money to do this.
Yeah, but I mean, even let's say Bad Empanada could move to like Sudan, where he can't get served with anything. Nothing can ever happen to him. You're now living in Sudan. Like that's the problem.
North or south? North or south? Regular, full or extra crispy? Like which one?
Which John Joey do you get to deal with? But no, it's just the countries where you can hide are countries you are going to be awful. They're going to be crappy places to live.
I mean, it's just not going to be the place you want to go, right? Yeah. And most Western people are not going there. Frogan and Sean says, Frogan and Sean separated at birth.
Fighting words.
Kitchen Knife Rescue said, I sharpened wits once, ended up with half of one. Buy a hijab and cosplay Frogan, Sean. Mercer says, any word if Medica is dead or kicking? No, I heard he's still alive. I heard that people confirm he's
still alive. Kirsha said he's alive, so that's good enough for me.
I believe Kirsha. I believe the Fox girl. The Spicy Cat. And no, not Ethan Klein. Bigger stuff is coming. Oh, trust me. Oh, guys, this year is going to be huge in legal news. Like, it's going to be big. Joe CPA says Uruguay does have extradition and mutual legal assistance agreement with the U.S. Bad empanada is cooked. That's actually a good, cooking the empanada. That's, okay. Yeah, there you go. I thought they didn't, but I guess I might have been thinking on outdated info.
Yeah.
Shimazu Takuma says, here's a fun for a shot glass for Sean Andrews' birthday. Say, Houthy and Helpy, both of you. May the channel stay relevant until retirement. Yeah, I do. I just have a little bit of cough here. It's been going around. Some people I know have had it. But I take it easy. I'm probably going to do no stream tomorrow. I'll probably take a break, do maybe like a fast facts. And going forward, I think I said this on my birthday stream, but I'll say it again. I'm going to be kind of streaming only like 2 or 3 times a week. So it's more of an event that's built up, maybe a collaboration, right? I have a very long PP, a PowerPoint, right? But I'm going to be doing a lot more of my shorter videos because they let me be more flexible. I know you like the PP. Everyone loves the PPs. People are really into my PP, which I never thought would be a thing. But what can I say? What can I say?
Telling yourself the 50 version of you of this. People all over the world are gonna, clamor for your PP.
They will. They all want it. One day at a time says, what kind of consequences are the mobs looking at? That's a good question. So extremely high fines, of course, right?
Statutory damages and being doxxed.
I think the damages are bad, right? So all the parties, Denims, Kaceytron, Frogan, they're all facing monetary damages that are in the 6 figures. I think we're pretty solid on that one, right? Because the statutory damages are 150K, and then they're going to have more on top of that. So probably in the 200s at least. So you've got that, and then you've got their doxing, and then you've got the social consequences of this. So Reddit and Discord are certainly going to purge these people out. So they're going to be cut off of their communities. There are going to be changes within Reddit and Discord as a result of this, right? This may be the end of snark Reddits because of this very sort of thing, or they may change radically in how they look, right? So a lot of these things may have knock-on effects that go down the line for both of these platforms, Reddit and Discord. Because all of these communities that are dedicated to hating are going to know that they can now be exposed. And that at the end of the day, because think about how many Discord and Reddit communities are dedicated to just hating people and doing nasty stuff. That's going to open up what we call a floodgate of litigation. I hate that my water's empty here. A floodgate of litigation against these communities, because I've already had people asking me, can I sue X? Can I sue Y? Can I sue Z? And some of it's like, hey, wait for this lawsuit because this may open the door, especially as to copyright infringement.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
And once again, there's a lot more challenges for defamation. People ask me for defamation all the time. In fact, someone asked me for, can I sue the farms for defamation privately just now? And I'm like, you should really go research the previous cases and know before you sue, right? Because, a lot of people run to sue and they don't know the history, right?
Well, and there's that, but it's also, what did they really say about, I'm not trying to sit here and say I'm a standing for the farms, but what did they, the idea is the farm, most people are mad at the farms because it's just a catalog of everything you've said or did. That's not defamation.
Correct. Yeah. However, there are instances in which there are things that are said or narratives that are made up that are false, in which that could be defamation, right? Could be. It could be. Case by case basis, right? Case by case basis. Hicka said for gifted five legal mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Also, guys, remember to give Sean some love and drop some memberships over there. Philip Coggin says, you mean you don't want to hide in Digibooty? I think the only thing that would be hiding in Digibooty is your sanity. Sleazy says, Jim confirmed alive. We are so back.
Oh, yeah.
Copy Kitty said, happy birthday, boys. I enjoy watching you both. Learning the law has become entertaining again.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you. To the Singha budget, thank you for 45 baht the Guyana Defense Force. Kopun Kap, as they say over here. Mercenary says, when Jim dies, I need to honor him. Why are we wishing for Jim's death? Can we not do that? When Jim dies, I need to honor him via Monty Python funeral, a la John Cleese to Graham Chapman. Jim won nothing less than the best. Okay, it's fair. Okay, that's a good spirit. All right. I'll allow it. Shem Pasta said, happy birthday, fellas. Always great content. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Deha said, "My bad for not realizing it's Sean's birthday too." No, it's all good,
No, it's
and
all
I'm
good,
happy
yeah.
we
Thank you for
share the birthday stream.
yeah.
Estella Stevens gave me a new member, and SP Sellers gifted 5 potentially criminal
Thank you.
memberships.
Thank you very much, Sellers.
Just tuned in. When you talk about the Frogan extension, I've talked about that. So Frogie
Yeah.
extended. You heard about
Which
that,
isn't
right?
a big deal. It's normal. Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
she was about to get a default judgment, and I can say this,
Well-
right? It was smart for her not to go down that road of having
Yes.
to quash a default judgment. That would
Mhm.
be stupid
Mhm.
of her.
I honestly just think it was her attorney was like, I'll get to it. As long as you take care of it before the time runs out, you can always just like the last day get something sorted out. Like that's not you shouldn't ever do that because you don't want to tempt fate. Like you're on you get in a car accident the day you're supposed to talk to counsel and it's the last day of the deadline. You should take care of it ahead of time. But it sounds like her attorney or they weren't really worried about it. They just waited till the last minute. But them agreeing
they dealt
to
with
time is normal.
So the attorney dealt with the timing of the response the way that Frogan deals with the timing of a diet. That is right when her doctor says your heart is 99% blocked. You need to do this or you're going to die.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. But no, yeah,
the
there's nothing wrong with that. And it is the professional courtesy. You say, sure, take your time. They're in no rush because it doesn't change your position. And then also later on, if Ethan needs something from Frogan, he can ask for it. And here's the thing. If Ethan said, no, I object. You know what they do? They go to the judge and say, Judge, we tried to ask them. They wouldn't give it to us. And the judge say, okay, fine. Here's 45 days, 60 days, whatever you need. So there's no point in fighting like that.
Got it. Lucas said, as someone who doesn't live a public life, how do you deal with bad actors who present you in a false negative light? It seems grating. I'll let Sean answer first, and then I'll chip in.
It depends on who it is, but I mean, just in general, Harvey Keitel and Reservoir Dogs said it best: "Piss on these fucking turds." I mean, most of these people they can eat a dick up till they hiccup. I don't get too worried about it. It is what it is.
Overall, that zen that he just said, don't worry about it. It is what it is generally my attitude. But what he said in the beginning is true too. It depends who it is. Because if it's another content creator who's especially one who's bigger than me or the same size, well, then sometimes I merit a response to it. But I do try to measure my response and understand that, I'm trying to be entertaining, objective, and fun. And sometimes you can go too far when responding to someone. And I don't genuinely.
I've done that myself.
I've done it too in the past, and I try to do better in the future, right? But because a lot of content creators are getting into defamation now, and they're defaming each other, and I think that's going too far. We don't need to defame each other. We can just say, "Hey, look, I disagree with your point, right? This is wrong factually or legally or whatever else, right? Like, or from my perspective, this is wrong," without having to say, "And you're a felon." Right? I don't need to say, "And you're a felon," when it's not true. When I know that's
or
not
you're
true.
a PDF file, yeah.
Well,
whatever.
But the point is that's the crime, right? So you're accusing someone of being a criminal, which is defamation, right? Like per se defamation.
Yeah, and even when it's not exactly that defamation, when you start fighting with people at times, there's times where you get all gassed up and you're like, I'm gonna fucking burn them down. And you think you send out a scorching hot tweet or you say something online and you're just like, fuck, it felt good. And then after a while you get done, you're like, well, that was the gayest thing I've done this month.
Yeah.
You're like, I really did not do that.
Because you look at yourself and you're like, yeah, this doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Olga said, you said yesterday, check your Twitter. I didn't see a message. Resend it because I didn't see anything. So resend it. I literally did not see it. Mar Hockman says, I've been there. There are deeks in Djibouti. I don't know what that is. What?
You got to be careful about Djibouti anyway, because the Americans and the Chinese are both there. So like, you're not really safe there.
So you've got two people trying to get Djibouti.
Yeah. And they're right down the street from each other.
Oh man. Mystery Sniper says, J-Rock Law is not something. And he likes the feeling from the true girlfriend. It's not true. What?
It's not true.
I have no idea what's going on.
They're fighting. They love each other.
Shimazu Takuma says, please add the audio on the FF this time. Yeah, I deleted that one. There's no proof. There's no proof that I ever scuffed a video. Okay?
I was listening to that at first. And I was like, did I turn off the sound on my cell phone?
Okay. Jim lives forever. There you go. Happy
Yeah.
birthday. Glad you got back to serious fast facts. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hickett says gifted 5 pension terminal
Thank you.
memberships.
Thank you for the support. I appreciate it.
Mixlodian says, speaking of KF, in Bad and Bananas thread, there's an old deleted channel intro of his. He has a twig thin arms and a bloated flabby gut in it. He hates it. Wait, what? Yeah, well, I'm not trying to like dig up old stuff and go after weird random.
He's a commie. He's already cringe anyway. Like,
and once again, I don't care. I don't even give a shit about his political beliefs. I'm just like, and I know that he's a Hassan orbiter. I know he doesn't like me, whatever, but I don't care. He joined the club. There's a million people who don't like me. Okay. Take a ticket.
And then, speaking of Hassan orbiters, the Houthy, Luffy,
Tim Houthy Chalamet. Yeah.
He wants to sue Ethan, and I'm like,
what do you think about that? I did a fast facts on it, but what do you think about it?
I didn't see that, but I mean, he admits, he's like, I've been on the boat with the hostages. You're like, you sound like you're in a terrorist group, brother. They don't just let anybody do that.
He's a public figure, right? So he's undisputably a public figure, right? So he's gonna get the New York Times versus Sullivan. It must be malicious.
Even if he's not a public figure, let's say he's a private person. How did you get on that boat? Did they just let everybody on that boat?
Hold on 1 second. Let me just share the screen just so you guys know what we're talking about. Like literally, so this is him. He takes a photo on the way to the boat, and he goes on this boat, which is hijacked. But here's him on the left, carrying in garb with the AK, the whole set out there, kitted out, filming with the group.
Yes.
So if you are kitted out like this, like I think it is a reasonable presumption by a reasonable person looking at these photos to say you are affiliated with them in some way. Even if you haven't pledged their official rights or whatever, you are cool enough with them that you are, even if you're not an official and unofficial member, an affiliate. So it is not an unreasonable assumption to say that you could be a terrorist, right? It is possible you are a terrorist.
Yeah. Right? What would the average person think? I mean, have fun convincing a jury. Look, I'm not really a terrorist.
It doesn't matter if the AK is fake. The point is, if you're trying to cosplay a terrorist,
he's looking like a badass. He's not doing that. He's not at the airsoft field.
Right.
He's clearly showing I'm down with the cause.
And it's not something that's fake. It's not like he's doing like,
a
it's not like he's doing. He's cosplaying like Walking Dead or something like that, and he's a zombie. Obviously, zombies aren't real, right? This is something very, very real. So you should not be pretending to be that, particularly for cred online, right? So if that's your model, is I'm going to pretend to be a terrorist, or I'm going to pretend to be part of this group, pretend to be hard, pretend to be a badass to collect internet clout, like that's what you accept being called a terrorist. You can't get the sexiness of being the sexy terrorist and then not get the terrorist label when it's a bad thing.
Yes.
Right? That doesn't work.
And Hassan even called him a Houthy rebel. It's like, well, and you didn't correct him. You're okay with it when the guy's like, some moronic guy's like, oh, I think you're so cool.
Right. And you liked that, so you took it. But when another guy criticizes you, you don't like that. And that's you gotta have it both ways. That's just what it is.
Some Robin in my chat says it's Mr. Beast would be like 100 days cosplaying as a terrorist in Yemen.
Estella Stevens became a new member. Welcome. Sure. So play yourself legal mindset. I was being serious. And Alter says, what is your opinion on the death of Sanguinius? Do you want my real opinion on that? Sanguinius is one of the few characters that can't be brought back. If they bring him back, I would not read anymore.
I don't know how they could bring him back.
They cannot bring him back.
Like it wouldn't work. Like what they've done so far. I mean, when I first heard all of this, I was like, okay, I don't know if I like this. But so far, it seems like the lore they've made the lore work.
I don't think they should bring back. Sanguinius can't come back, and I don't think they should bring back Dorn either.
No.
Right?
No,
I know some people want them to bring back Dorn. They should not. Yeah.
So but having Gilliman back makes sense because he was in he was in stasis. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But you can't that's like saying like you're bringing Sigmar back. Like he disintegrated. Like you can't be like, oh, it just the sand blows back in. He's like, I'm back.
Mr. Melancholy for 1. Thank you. Red Knight 1322 for 10 legal mindset memberships.
Oh, come on, that wasn't that dorky.
No, I love it. I love it. I know I love Warhammer. We could, but the problem is we could make this into a Warhammer lore stream in like 2 seconds, and I'm cutting myself off manually to not do that. Hey, Snugs, DKK 45. Hey, Andrew and Sean, happy birthday. Love what you do. Thanks for being awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And on that note, I think that's a good place to wrap it here. It's late at night for Sean, and I've got a lot of stuff to do. So it's been an amazing stream. It's been amazing back. Sean, do you have anything coming up that you want to tell people about?
I mean, we're getting ready to do oh no, I messed up. It's it was Malcador. That was, God, I feel like a fucking idiot saying that.
Oh, Malcador,
yeah, that's why I was like, you know, he hopped on the throne for the emperor. He held it down. He held it down for a little while. He minded the store.
Yes,
and he killed him. But no, getting ready. There's a lot of stuff with Sig Sauer and the P320 pistol.
Oh, yes, in Washington, right?
Well, there's that, but also somebody who used to work there, their patent got published where it's like, this patent fixes all the shit that's wrong with the gun. And it's like entirely redesigned of parts. And then there's another lawsuit where the attorney kind of like redacted things, but he didn't redact them all the like, oops, I didn't redact them all the way. So if you use like Adobe, you can peel off the redactions and read everything that was covered up. 6 hours in a lot of trouble right now.
Is this big enough to like wreck them or?
Oh yeah, I mean, if the military quits using their guns, that's going to kill them. And then, you know, if all this stuff comes out in the public, I just don't see how they survive very long. All the police departments start dumping them. Yeah, they're gonna be toast. So we'll see.
We'll stay tuned for that one.
Also, Valve is in big trouble now too. Oh,
that is very true.
Did
That's
you see
another
that?
good one. Yes.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Yes. I think I'm going to be doing one because I really wanted to get into the digital ID stuff. So I'm like thinking about that and preparing like a larger presentation on that.
Yeah.
I know there may be some updates. I'm going to see whether or not the Vitali stuff is true. So I'll get you guys that information. Next week is the Somali trial. So I'll be doing, just a stream on that actual trial day. And I've got some other topics that I'm cooking up in secret for you guys.
Is your reporting team going to be there for that?
Yes. So they will be there. So what I'll be doing is someone will be in the courtroom giving a live play-by-play to me, which I'll be doing live. So I'm probably the only person who's going to be doing the live reporting, which is cool. Right. So that's my unique little spin there. Sean, can you take your Discord DMs? Okay.
Yes, I'll take a look.
Reddit says someone dressed like that just become a target of strategic strike. And Sanguinius is simply Alfarius. Okay. Well, we're getting just.
Yeah.
Guys
know that the Steam thing is not about the credit cards, it's about their arbitration.
Yes.
They're in a lot of trouble.
Yes. Okay, guys. Listen, until next time, take care and stay based, and we will catch you all later. Peace.
You are coping the ceiling. You just can't believe what you're seeing. It's you coping the ceiling. The truth it is all day, and now you are molding.